So, you want to draw a big detailed piece with all your characters. A drawing that perfectly encapsulates a moment, vibrant and alive. Me too. In truth, I've never attempted a drawing like this.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
But I'm gonna walk you through how an advanced self-taught artist learns a new skill. Well,
to study the blade.
quote on that advanced. I'm not trying to inhale my own 42-inch wonder too hard, at least. Here is some of my work. You can be the judge if I'm advanced, intermediate, or, borderline delusional. Naturally, I might be having artist eyes, so I might be delusional. Which, I mean, at least it's fun. Either way, no matter what title you force up my rectal cavity, I'm here to show you my process anyway. I'm Sabah Black Sheep. Have you any soul? No sir, no sir. But I'm here today to help you take your art to the next level. Unless you are artistically educated, then why the fuck you here? To preface, I use Clip Studio Paint. But regardless, a lot of things I talk about can be applied to any medium in any program, pretty much. But before we get started, consider committing arson on that like and subscribe button, because I will do anything not to work a real job. I am the lazy Gen Z your father told you about. I say that and then slave away on the same drawing for 9 hours straight without a break. Step 1, get the idea. Before you start shooting out refined and rendered art, you need an idea. You just need a general concept of what you're going to be making, pretty much. For example, the piece we're working on today is of my characters from a comic I'm working on called Usurper Prince. So my idea so far is to have Pressus, the black-haired blue jay thingy, to have her in kind of the focus of the piece, showing her very relaxed and warm personality, and then showing the dichotomy between that and the main character, her friend, the main character of the story, Volkarn, who is a stressed out 30-something with a chip on his shoulder. But let's be real, I most likely did not draw him looking 30. He probably looks in his mid-40s by the end of this. Literally lamenting that for most of the comic I'm gonna have to draw him in his 30s, and I hate that. Good thing he's Georgian, because all Georgian people look old as shit. Anyway, so I want the tone of this piece to be very playful and relaxed, and displaying the culture of the Algiri, which is the winged, horned race you'll see. My main concern here is that Pressus has very large wings, and I don't really want them to block the background, so it's important that I kind of get a general layout idea before I just jump in. I want the piece to feel very alive and display the Algiri culture, and the idea I have for the Algiri, they're a very long-living race, so their architecture is going to be very detailed and grand, but I also want a sense of airiness to it, so maybe cooler tones. When approaching a new technique or style, you really need to go in with a better idea of what you're wanting out of a piece. Mapping out the tone and message you want out of an art piece will help you figure out what references you need to look for, so you can set yourself up the best you can. Why the fuck did you restart? There honestly is a world of difference when you just go straight in, rushing into a big art piece like this, and taking your time to process and plan out. Because something this large, if you just run in, it is going to be unbalanced, the colors are going to be ugly as shit, and it will probably be visually overstimulating for the viewer. And you really want to figure out how to make the image easy for the viewer to look at and process. This is going to be so annoying. I just ripped out one of my eyelashes. So here's our general layout. This is just gonna give us an idea of what type of references to look for and give us like a fuller idea of like what we're working with, what type of abilities and shit we need to really like bring this piece forward. It's important to keep in mind the balance of the piece to make sure it's not overcrowded in one area and make sure it just doesn't feel lopsided or anything. I know like it can sometimes be really hard to figure out like what that looks like as a beginner artist, and even I struggle with it sometimes as well, so I get it. We got the loser old man human, and then we got the sassy femboy, the big nice sassy femboy. If my work was like a thing, people would like he'd have so many fangirls. Yeah. Okay, anyway, then we got Precious. This is not a good reflection of her personality. She's not sassy. She's very nice. So I don't know why I did that, but you know, it's whatever. Laying on a couch, you got random people. So
what do you mean by that?
Here's the general layout. Now you know. Step 2. References and inspiration. As my mother always said, if you feel empty and need inspiration, steal. She didn't say that. She's not a Khajiit and or white college age woman. Either way, whip out Pinterest.
But what the hell, boy?
Start spelunking the interwebs for anything that is remotely reflective of the vibe you're going for. It's important that we look at all different perspectives to create the piece we want, because it allows us to take the aspects of other people's art that is good and make it our own. One thing I know I need a lot of help with is architecture. I want the Algiri architecture to look very nice and unique, but have this regalness to it. So I collected a lot of references for the architecture, because I'm gonna need that, bro. I'm gonna need that. Another thing I need help with is characters flowing naturally in an environment. Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking puke. It's very hard to always execute characters looking natural in an environment together, because unless you're a prawn artist, you probably don't do it very often. And I'm not, so my characters look a little goofy in the same environment sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. As you can see with a lot of my pieces, my characters don't have backgrounds. They are literally beefing in the void and trying to marry the background with the characters in the anatomy. Oh my god. And the foliage. And painting. Oh, step 3. Layout and napkin sketches. Now here's where we talk about layout. The last planning stage before we jump into drawing, pretty much. Napkin sketches is referring to drawing on a napkin to get a general idea of what you're making long term, but I don't own napkins, and drawing on an actual napkin sounds stupid as hell, so we're not doing that. I realize I'm a bit of a hater. Anyways, I tend to draw 5 boxes that are the shape of the canvas and draw very loose sketches in each one that are pretty much the same message and same vibe, but just different variations of it. Kind of like when you're playing Smash Bros. And you got like player 2 and then player 3, and they're all like different colors and stuff. Not that you should start like race switching your characters in each one. I know it can suck when you're really passionate about how a piece is gonna look like to deconstruct it and kind of switch it up, but honestly it's really important. It will literally help you so much figure out what's the best way to draw this. I will have moments where I'm like, I want this piece to look exactly like this, I need it to look exactly like this, and then I do my napkin sketches and I'm like, holy crap, I found a way better way to like phrase this entire drawing. So I'm begging you, please do it. And you have literally nothing to lose. What if you make it and then you still go with the original one? You've lost nothing beyond maybe energy, but I don't know. Drink some coffee. When you're doing layout, it's important to kind of think like a photographer. So think of the rule of thirds and the golden ratio. I'm not a pro, so take everything I draw with a grain of salt. I honestly need to listen to my own advice, because holy crap. I'll say this and then my entire piece is just like ungodly, unbalanced. You can be the best artist ever, and if your piece is not balanced, well, people won't like you as much, so Okay, so the first one is literally just me drawing the original layout you just saw in the last one. This is just to get things down, have a good baseline. The second napkin sketch, I removed the general. He's gone. R.I.P. our femboy. In the arms of an angel. Anyway, it's just Pressus and Volkarn. I wanted to see how I could balance a scene with even just 2 people and not 3. For the third one, it's my least favorite. It's where the general and Pressus are on the couch and Volkarn's like kind of just standing to the side awkwardly. I keep calling him general because I seriously do not have a name for the femboy yet. Like, I'm gonna name him Tarlach. Fuck it. Yeah, we're naming him Tarlach.
What the Sigma?
Okay, so fourth one is where we're starting to cook. Like, we're starting to get there. We got Presses handing Volkarn a glass of some sort, and then we got, you know, the femboy kind of leaning over, being smart. I mean, Tarlach, not femboy. Well, he's more of a twink than a femboy, but I feel like on the internet those are a bit interchangeable, so whatever. And then the last one was a play on the fourth one, just because I'm like trying to figure out how to balance it a little more, because I liked the fourth one, but it just, with the tallest guy being in the middle, and I don't know, it just didn't, the balance was off. So I wanted to like use like the golden ratio, you know what I'm talking about, and like have it like a little more, you know, I don't know, you get it, the balance, the flow. I am such a bad teacher, holy shit. 4, base sketch. Finally, we can start drawing. Once you've honed the skill of drawing big scenes, you don't have to go through this like entire thing every time. I mean, there's aspects that you still need to do, but you know, that's just drawing. Regardless, when it comes to learning a new skill, I think it's really good to prepare yourself the best you can, because I realize how disappointing it is. Attempt a new style or technique only for it to come out like absolute dog crap, and then now you just don't want to draw. But regardless, please be gentle on yourself. You are an amazing artist, and even if it does not come out perfect, you are doing a good job. It is the first step of many. I'm begging you, be a delusional artist. It makes you better, trust me, I've been doing it for years. When we're drawing our base sketch, we're gonna give a general layout of how the entire thing is going to look. So you need to sort out the anatomy right now. You need to make sure all the body types and the flow of each character is looking good, as well as getting a general idea of what the background is look like so you can build off it. It's the foundation, pretty much. The skeletal remains. When you give yourself a good baseline to work off of, it allows you to be able to balance the details better. Because when you don't, you end up detailing the wrong thing in the wrong way, and then your entire piece is like weirdly detailed in this one area where it honestly does not need. So spend a good amount of time sorting everything out on your base sketch so we can really bring the entire piece together. I am begging you. This is like literally the most important part. Step 5, lining. So I will admit I have kind of a weird style where I will kind of start rendering in my lining work because I just got so used to drawing on paper when I was younger, and now I just kind of project that on my art now. I've gotten a little better at not making the rendering look too weird, because there are points where I've made really beautiful renders and then colored it, and oh my god, it looks so much better without color. With your lining, you don't have to be too worried. Be a little messy with it. It's fine. It allows it to flow easier and gives it more life. You don't have to erase your lines. I don't think anyone should. I think it looks better when you don't. Throughout this entire process, I'm looking at my references to make sure I am accurately making this piece come together. I'm begging you, please use your references. Look at them. It does not make you a worse artist. And the more you use them, the larger your visual library becomes and less you'll have to rely on them. But especially when learning a new skill, use them. In this piece, the mid ground is what's going to be in focus, and that's where we're going to want to draw the audience's eye, so they have the most detail. Everything else is a lot looser. If you detail everything, then there's not going to be a place where the audience can rest their eyes. You want the audience to rest their eyes where you want the most detailed. Another important thing is, oh my god, pick your lighting. Pick your source of lighting. Where's it coming from? I swear, I have to say this to myself, because beyond the candles in the front, I was a little confused if there was going to be backlighting or not. There wasn't. As you can see, I just annexed the freak out of those background characters. I would give you an excuse that spares my fat ego, but to be real, it's a straight up skill issue. You think I could render a bunch of nobodies? This video has already cost me my happiness and shat 3 weeks of monotony on my plate. But for the art gods, it's worth it, my precious followers. Don't forget, you can never sacrifice enough for your work. Let it consume you. Let it isolate you from everyone you love. And if someone says that's unhealthy, well, they're right, but they also probably kiss men. And you're not gonna listen to a filthy man kisser, are you? I didn't think so. Anyways, I kept the lines pretty thin and simple so I could do detail work in the rendering process. There is very slight shading around here. Some of that's a little, like, not too detailed. This tool right here, it fucks up lines in terms of quality. So, like, as you can see, if I move this, suddenly that gets blurry. So it's just something to be aware of when you're using the liquify tool. As you can see, they're fairly light, they're fairly sketchy. I always have very sketchy lines. I never have really hard line work. It's just gestures to know where to start rendering, pretty much. Step 6, coloring and rendering the people. This, my friends, is the most hellish part, holy mother of God. Rendering and coloring takes forever. It makes me want to heel over and go to bed. Like Volkarn's Choka, that took so long to render because I am so bad at rendering cloth that isn't like a goddamn toga. Remember, color harmony is incredibly important, and I realize that it's very hard to have color harmony when you have a bunch of different characters in a scene, because each character, you know, is their own unique character that wears their own thing and their own deal, but you can use lighting to make everything seamless. Like, if you drop tool it, it looks red, but it's not red when you drop tool it, then it's fine. In a piece that is incredibly blue, you can use a purple, which looks red to us, because us humans are pretty good at translating lighting. I always recommend using overlay tools to do that for you because it's easier. Not to slobber too hard on my own knob, but Walter White better watch out because I'm cooking up a storm. Look at that. Look at that. Detail out the wazoo. That face is mid, but hear me out. Hear me out. That being said, I think I did a pretty good job with detailing. It looks pretty nice. Not to say it's perfect, of course, because no artist is perfect, and clearly I'm still learning. As you can see, I actually did an overlay layer to kind of make them look like they're in the same lighting. I put it at 50% because if I put it higher, it's gonna wash out a lot of the detail, and I will do overlay a little later as well when I finish the background to kind of bring the piece and lighting all together, so I don't want to wash out too many of the details in the rendering process. Step 7, background. My weakness. I really gotta pull myself up by the bootstraps to do this one justice. It's a good thing to keep in mind, the further you go back, the less detail there is. Who'da guess? If you put everything in detail, the eye gets overwhelmed, like I've said multiple times now. Make sure to keep the lighting in mind while you're drawing, and I always recommend to make the background a little more faded to give it more depth. Step 7. Wait, did I already do step 7? I mean, step 8, overlay and lighting. Making sure the entire piece comes together very nicely. I tend to do a lot of my lighting at the end because I kind of treat the painting like I'm drawing individual small paintings within the very large big one. Is that a good way to go about it? Probably not, but unless you're gonna pay for my art education, shut the fuck up. I'm kidding. Please. Tell me I'm evil in the comments so YouTube pushes my video. I'm begging. I tend to use a lot of the overlay tools. If you go to the side, there should be a little thing that says like normal. You click on it, gives you a drop down. Soft lighting overlay are very good for setting tones. And that's it. The drawing is complete. Look at all that detail. I hope y'all like how it came out. I was tweaking when the background was
But what
blue.
the hell?
It was so goddamn ugly. And I showed my friends and I was like, this looks so bad. And they were like, no. And I'm like, I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew it was ugly. Because red, white, and blue? What is this? America? It looks bad. Terrible color palette. So I turned it greenish yellow instead. And I saved myself from whatever the fuck that was. So don't forget, everyone, color theory is a thing that you should probably pay attention to, of which I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too good at. I might get there one day, but I'm also a lazy bitch. So, yeah. I hope y'all learned a little something. This video took me God's forever to make. So if you want me to make more content like this, instead of asking, just shove your foot up my ass to save us all the precious time of technicalities. Enough yapping on my part. I hope y'all got a good giggle today. But that's all I have for today, folks. You got work tomorrow, or school, or pretending to be an authority on the hobby that you sold your body, mind, and soul to. But regardless, don't dream about wheat-based byproducts.